ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in our new video update. This time it's going to be dedicated exclusively to our new beta that we are releasing for you as we speak. So what's the beta, what's in it, and who will get it? It's been almost exactly 2 years since we had our Kickstarter campaign. We have been releasing early versions of the game during the time, and so far we had 5 releases which we called Tech Alphas. They have shown only a small portion of the game with selected game mechanics, and the beta is much larger than these alpha versions, and it has most of the game mechanics that we plan to have in the final game. Something is still not finished or missing, but most of the stuff is there. Large non-linear quests, RPG system, large battle, cutscenes, adaptive music, branching dialogues with skill checks, combat with different weapons and multiple enemies, large part of the world. Now we will concentrate on the polishing these mechanics and content, quests and cutscenes. Beta doesn't have all the quests and the whole game world, and there's a reason for that. We are still months from the release of the final game, and if we wanted to do it, we would have to release it much later. But most importantly, I don't think it would be a good idea. Releasing full beta would be like releasing a half-written book. It would spoil everything, but it would lack the finesse of the final thing. Especially for single-player story-based games, I believe that it would do much more harm than good. So you may call it technology beta if you wish, and those who were afraid to try the game because of spoilers, I think it's safe to play it. There are some spoilers, but not many. So who will get the beta? Any backer that has alpha access and now also night tiers. So most of the Kickstarter backers accept soldier tiers. If you don't have access yet and would like to try it or support the development, you can still back our game on our webpage and get access to the beta immediately. You can even upgrade your tier from Kickstarter to be able to play the beta. We now have new, much nicer website that is easier to navigate with simple shop. New backers will download the game with our own proprietary downloader and launcher, and if you're already a backer, you can still use Steam. The money we get from the crowdfunding are all used on the development. Anybody who ever worked on a game knows that there is never enough money to make a perfect game. So thanks everyone who are supporting us, because you are allowing us to make a better game than we would be able to do without you. So what's new in the beta? The first thing everybody will realize is that we have many new locations and that the world is much larger. The map is approximately 5 times larger than in the alpha, with new village, first castle, really vast forest and a lot of other interesting locations. Of course, that all the locations and content from alpha is also still there. It's big, but it's still just a glimpse of the final map, which is gonna be at least 4, maybe to 5 times bigger than the beta. And of course that there is also a new quest, and while the quests in alpha were rather small so far, this one is taken from the main story, takes several hours to finish and ends with a battle. Oh, I may just spoil it, but yeah, there is going to be a battle. The quest is a very good example of how much freedom we are giving to the player. Almost any goal or objective could be accomplished by several different ways. Important people could die and it's still possible to finish it. So I believe there is a lot of replayability as well. And as I said, all the quests from the previous versions are still there. Bear in mind that since it's still just a beta, it's not perfectly balanced and there might be some issues, but it's definitely a good example of things to come. Another new feature is save and load. It may seem as something simple, but trust me, load and save for an RPG, and especially for an RPG that simulates everything in the background, is very, very hard. Each time you do a save, we are saving state of hundreds of NPCs and other entities that might be doing almost anything at the time, and a single bug can destroy everything after load. So there might still be some issues after load, and we would be glad if you report them on our forums, as well as any other bugs or suggestions. Since the new quest is taken from the storyline, it has some cutscenes, which have premiere in the beta together with new music. I think that they look great and there is gonna be plenty of them in the final game, but keep in mind that the facial animations, voice and model of lead character and many NPCs are just temporary now, and we have been scanning a lot of people with our proprietary 3D scanner and started to put them into the game as NPCs. Currently there is around 30 new characters and we plan to have hundreds. Also, all the main characters will have their proprietary heads scanned most likely from the actors. So far, there was only one sword in the alpha, and that's changing. You can now fight with several different swords. You can have swords and shield, and also maces and axes. There is also more armors, and they don't serve only as a protection. If you wear a human armor, You can sneak into the human camp without being noticed, but don't show in that armor in the camp of their enemies or you will be attacked immediately. But again, this is just a glimpse of things to come. We are still balancing the combat system, adding new weapons, moves and combos, and tweaking animation. So there is much more things to come in the final version. And those weapons we are talking about could finally be used in a battle. So far we have managed to have hundreds of fully simulated people on the battlefield, and such a battle is in the beta. We are still optimizing the AI and working on it, but I guess that even at this stage it's probably the biggest melee battle in games and not only RPGs. And last but not least, we now have a new weather system and it looks gorgeous, so expect rain, storms, fog and beautiful effects that go with it. Since we are talking about beta, of course, there is a lot of things that still need some work. If there is something that still bothers me a little bit, it's the amount of some types of content. We are still working on the NPC behavior and there is just a few quests, so some places may not look as lively as they will in the final game. NPCs in the game are supposed to talk to each other, interact and will have much bigger variety of actions, tasks and professions. This is something we are still working on right now. So it's going to be much better in the future. Also, there will be much more to do in the locations. For example, in the Talmberg, which is the new location in beta, there will of course be more quests than just the one from the beta. We plan to have a lot more random events too in the world. Currently you can already encounter some band-aids, find some hidden treasures and so on, but it's something which will be much better in the future as well. And one of the biggest issues currently is the skip time and sleep, and the lack of fast travel. Skip time is extremely slow now because we have to simulate the whole world during it in the background, and since it's not optimized, you have to wait. We'll make it faster in the future, but it's still not possible at this moment. The fast travel is not there for the same reason. It uses the same mechanics, so even that it's already implemented in the game, it's not there because it will be too slow. So that's about it for today. I hope that you are gonna like the beta. And let us know what you think about it by either taking the time to fill our little survey or by going to our forums and report any bugs or tell us your suggestions. These reports are really important for us and help us to make a better game. Seriously, it's very important, we do read them and we really fix stuff according to your suggestions. We will do a live stream from the beta quest soon with Toby, so don't forget to watch it. Have a look at our new website, follow us on YouTube, Twitter or Facebook for the latest videos and news. You can still back the game if you didn't already and keep your fingers crossed for us. There's still a lot of work to do, so we need it. Thank you very much and bye.